had a good time. Oh, boy.
Yeah, that smells like it.
They said call a psychic hotline.
Located right across the street from the beautiful Shanghai Shindig Winter Gardens, it's the award-winning Talk Soup. Greg Kinnear back with you, checking out highlights of the talk shows one more time, and then I think we're done, right? This is it, the final show. Looks like we got the president coming up in a few moments here on the show. Saw a State of the Union address last night. He said that we all need health care, and surprisingly, we all need to watch Talk Soup 6 or 7 times a day. What was that all about? You just wouldn't think that a president would... Now, coming up a little bit later on, it's the great scarf sniff-off, a daughter who thinks her vain mom looks a little bit like Beetlejuice, and the fascinating world of food regurgitation is coming your way as well. So, sure, you could flip over to the Weather Channel, but why? First up, let's enter the mind of a psychic, if not psychotic, hotline addict. Her name is Marjorie, and she was a guest on Tuesday's Jerry Springer show. As you might guess, this is somewhat of a costly obsession this woman has here. An average call costs, what are you looking at, $4, $5? $5 per minute. And believe you me, Marjorie has racked up hours and hours and hours worth of calls.
What is it about these hotlines that makes you want to call and call and call?
This is worse. They tell me what I don't want to hear. They insult me at the kazoo. I'm there arguing with them, you know?
What do they say to you?
They tell me not to call a psychic hotline. For one thing, get a psychiatrist. I'll give you another number you'll call for an analyst.
For $4 a minute, they're telling you? I'll insult you for $2 a minute.
It's cheaper.
Okay.
I called them because I was having constant nightmares, such nightmares about my Aunt Mary, my Aunt Madeline, my Aunt Clara in Jersey City. You know, and I was going through an autopsy in this, horrible, and night and day for a month.
Would you go and see a doctor?
I did. They said, call a psychic hotline.
Yes, indeed. The doctor, dressed in a bizarre skull and crossbones headdress, complete with chicken blood war paint makeup, recommended she, what was it, the Latoya Jackson hotline? Call a psychic hotline. Get out of here. Marjorie's also addicted to tarot cards, as it turns out, and later on the show, one of Jerry's guests apparently dialed one of these psychic hotlines, and this little bit of television hilarity took place.
Hi, I'm looking for psychic advice.
Oh, honey, I'm waiting for a call from the Jerry Springer show. Can you call back about 3 minutes?
This is the Jerry Springer show.
Oh, hi, Bonnie.
Guys.
Hi, Bonnie. This is Jerry Springer. We're on the show right now.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and thanks for clearing your lines for me. I kind of feel pretty important. You know what? If you're a psychic, how come you didn't know this was the Jerry Springer show?
All right.
That's the Jerry Springer Show highlight coming up Friday. He'll be talking to Kenny and a number of other men who are disabled but live in large. That'll be Friday. Stories of courage. Oh, that is fantastic. That's just fantastic. Donald and his twin brother, Ronald, I guess? Very close. They are very close. So close that Donald actually posed as a helicopter pilot in Korea when Ronald decided to go AWOL. So close that Donald has served time in jail for his brother on 3 different occasions. So close that Montel Williams wanted to find out why Ronald feels so indebted to his seemingly evil twin. This story may shed some light on things. Take a look.
I guess that you and your brother used to switch and trick people all the time when you were younger?
We switch in classes. We switch on jobs that he didn't want. I'd go get it.
Okay.
Women, we played games on them.
A lot of times?
Virtually a lot.
I mean, you didn't switch like, I mean, I heard the story about a couple of twin males who, one took a lady home and then got him and said, I want to go get something to eat.
Right.
And walked out, changed clothes, and the other twin, did you do that?
Well, what happened was he would be making love to a woman, and he would get up to go to the bathroom, and then I would go in there.
No, I don't. we have to show little moments like that? Well, I guess we do. That's right. Donald's brother Ronald is serving a 14-year sentence in a maximum security prison in Ventura County here in California. Apparently, they have no plans to swap places in the near future. On Friday's show, Montel learns about people who were used as guinea pigs in government experiments. You've been hearing about these stories. You'll meet one man who was deliberately exposed to not uranium, but plutonium. Actor Burt Reynolds certainly had his ups and downs and a pretty impressive career. At one point, he was Hollywood's top box office draw. His star waned for a couple of years, and he bounced back on a big TV show called Evening Shade. Recently, Burt has been riding out the shockwaves of a highly, highly public split with Lonnie Anderson. Tuesday, when he dropped by, I guess, CBS This Morning, Harry Smith started asking him about his recent comments that he's made with regard to the divorce. Take a look at this.
You know what? We are happy for you that this chapter in your life seems to be coming to a
You know
close.
what's the strangest thing is that the people you fly over when you fly from L.A. to New York, no offense, that is America. And I've been out traveling around the country because I had to make money on the weekends, pay for lawyers. I've been opening supermarkets and drugstores and things.
Whatever it
mowing lawns.
Yeah.
Doing parades. And I've had more people come up to me and say, we're praying for you and all that. And they don't know how sustaining that was, how wonderful that was for me. And you know, Quaker State dropped me because we all know that divorced people don't use oil. And then the Florida orange juice people dropped me because divorced people don't drink orange juice.
I think that's a reasonable assumption.
And I guess if you need a Bryant, gay people don't drink orange juice. I don't.
Burt Reynolds on CBS This Morning. The dust is still settling from Burt and Lonnie's divorce. So far, she has been awarded $2 million in cash, as well as a $500,000 summer home up in North Carolina. Bob, tell them what else she won.
Why, in addition to the vacation house and the money, Lonnie will also receive this deluxe Sissel compact clothes dryer, capable of drying up to 45 pounds of Lonnie's dirty laundry. And if she settles now, she'll have her carpets cleaned daily by Stan of DuraClean. DuraClean, a fine carpet company. Total price package worth $2.6 million. Greg?
Wow. Later on, Burt had this to say about one of Harry's inquiries.
Do you have any regrets about the public way in which all of this was played out?
That is the dumbest question I've ever heard of.
That is not the dumbest question.
Friday on CBS This Morning, get to know some of the athletes competing in the 1994 Winter Olympics. Jocks on Ice, Friday. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, you're so vain, you probably think this show is about you, plus sometimes staying married is the best revenge.
He says that he can't love me the way he should be able to love me because I, throw fits and throw things, break things, and he said it doesn't let him love me, so he lets me know that. He tells me.
Like a half-hour vacation from your common sense, it's Talk Soup. We're back. A few more clips for you here. Big party last night. The whole crew, everybody from E got together. I wasn't invited.
Yes, you were.
I was not invited. I heard nothing about this, Tom. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever. Cut me out. No problem. Patty didn't score a lot of sympathy points when she went on the Ricky Lake show to talk about her stormy marriage. While complaining about her husband, Rex, she managed to incriminate herself on a number of counts, as you're going to see right now in this next highlight. Of course, if you can overlook the fact that she's a crank, violent, unpredictable, irrational, moody, lazy individual, she's a real charmer.
It sounds to me like you like this conflict and this fighting in the marriage.
Well, at least we're talking to each other. I don't know.
So how many kids do you have?
With him, I have 2, and I have an older son from a previous marriage.
Mm-hmm. So what are some of the other things that he does now that you're married? You've been married for 5 years? So what are some of the other things that he does to make you mad and to make you hate him?
Well, he's just irritating. He thinks he knows everything, and it's just his way or no way, and he's, I don't know, I think it's just more that I do more for him than he does for me. You know, he says that he can't love me the way he should be able to love me because I, you know, throw fits and throw things, break things, and he said it doesn't let him love me, so he lets me know that. He tells me, you know.
The audience just said, yeah, you just said, why are you still together?
Well, because if we were to get a divorce, I would probably have to get a job, and I don't want to work.
No. There's a lot worse things that could happen to you besides getting a job.
Hey, that's true. There are worse things that could happen. Here's a couple of possibilities. She could get a paper cut, cash in her next monthly alimony check. Heck, she could run out of furniture to break during her next hissy fit. She could be making inane comments on national television. You see, there's a whole slew of things that could be worse. Friday, Ricky meets men and women who can't seem to get over the tragic loss of past loved ones. She'll also hear from the people these folks are currently dating. Well, Tuesday night, President Clinton made his first State of the Union address. In anticipation of Clinton's comments, impressionist Jim Morris granted this press conference with Good Morning America's Charlie Gibson. One of the topics that leapt to mind was a recent encounter with Russian leader Boris Yeltsin. Take a look.
Were you pleased with your meeting with Mr. Yeltsin?
I certainly was. Well, you know, we had a good time. Oh, boy. You know, I'll tell you something. I don't want to say there's a problem there with Mr. Yeltsin, but the next time we meet, I want that olive concession. I'll tell you that. You know, they say that was like a smear campaign, that he's really not a big drinker. I'd say it's more like a smearing-off campaign, if you ask me. I think he's a fine fellow, though.
You finally got yourself a defense secretary.
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, William Perry, I wanted a strong defense, and I figured, well, he wasn't getting much playing time in Chicago, and I said, if you can lose 40 pounds, you can come work for me, Mr. Refrigerator You. Actually...
It was a different Perry, though.
I'll tell you, I'm just joking. My first choice was John Wayne Bobbitt. For 3 reasons.
Oh, no.
For 3 reasons, Charlie.
Yeah.
One, he has had experience with women in combat. 2, he knows that we can survive drastic cuts. And three, he won't be having any nanny problems, I'll tell you that.
Jim Morris doing his best Bill Clinton there. He also mimics Ronald Reagan, George Bush, a number of other political figures. I guess Friday on Good Morning America, the godfather of soul, Mr. James Brown, will be talking, squealing, perhaps even grunting about his new album, Universal James. That'll be Friday. We'll take a quick break and be back in a moment with advice for the soon-to-be divorced, plus Sniff Me Like You Know Me.
This weekend on
Yes, indeed, the topic was couples on the brink of divorce. The program was the Maury Povich Show. Things got very interesting when one of Maury's audience members stood up and started passing out a little free advice to everybody who showed up that day, and in the process managed to reveal that his own 29-year marriage could be on somewhat turbulent ground.
Yeah, I'm thinking about this other couple right here. How could this guy right here say, how could you hear your kid tell you who's going to tuck me in, who's going to wake me up? I got 5 kids. I'm married 29 years. There's times I want to leave. Times I want to kill her. Times we both want to do this to each other. But I wouldn't leave. I'm there for my kids. Once my kids are out, like this other couple, then you make your move. You got a little kid like this. You got...
So in other words, you won't mind that Rose is leaving.
Well, the kids are out. The kids are out. You
Right.
could not let them do what they want. I feel sorry for that guy, too.
But when the kids are home?
Oh, when the kids are home, stay there. There's times I want to leave. There's times I want
to... You know this woman?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep,
Huh?
that's it. On the other hair.
Right.
But
Are you worried that once the kids leave, he's going to be out of there?
No, I think I'll probably be out first.
Highlight of the Maury Povich Show. Interesting young man in the audience there. I guess up on stage, right? Later on, a counselor said it's important for couples to communicate and try and work work things out. This Friday on Maury's show, learn about the latest breakthroughs in vitro conception. It's test tube babies on parade Friday. Was the romance evaporated in your marriage? Is your spouse going to seed? Is he or she grouchy, listless, and unresponsive? Why am I asking all these questions? Please don't get upset. It's a little bit of a lead-in to this highlight from the Bertice Berry Show. You're about to meet 3 couples who I guess are all trying to put the fire back into their marriages. Exercise number 1, can he recognize her favorite perfume?
It's either this, this one,
You know.
or this
Poor guy
one.
is like, doesn't matter. Please, God, let me make the right choice.
Color. We're going to go by color.
I think it was the maroon one.
Maroon. Okay. Now let's see.
Something's going on.
Okay, here we've got the black one. This feels great, even if you don't guess the color, the perfume. This is the maroon. And then we've got the red one.
Poor Kevin.
The maroon.
They all picked the maroon. Now, you know what? The maroon is Desiree. You're right, but I guess you all figured if one of you picked it, you wouldn't be wrong. So, red is Cammy. Cammy was the red, and the other one is Tina.
And
So you guys really you just couldn't tell?
No, I couldn't. I too many. I didn't really get the. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it smells like her.
Yeah, that's a little lady. Later on, apparently the women had to see if they could recognize the knees of the men they love, and that went something like this. Hit it, boys! Ho! Look, it's pictures of knees, and they had to guess which knee was which man. What all this has to do with romance, I don't know. Friday, Bertice meets people who say their mom acts like a child. Mom, why don't you just grow up? Friday. Well, with the Super Bowl rematch between the Dallas Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills just days away, some are betting on the Bills to choke for the 4th year in a row. I know our own Tom McNamara is. Tuesday night, Jay Leno gave his audience a pop quiz regarding the biggest sporting event of the year. Take a look.
Put together a little football quiz like what I call it a chalk and talk. Now pay attention, you might learn a little something about this great sport. For example, a player is most likely to suffer a serious injury, A, on the defensive line, B, in the backfield, C, standing between John Madden and the dessert cart. All right. Let's settle down. The most dangerous infraction in football is holding, B, clipping, C, humming show tunes in the huddle. All right, Buffalo coach Marv Levy is spending this week, A, figuring out how to stop Emmitt Smith, B, perfecting the 5-yard screen pass from Jim Kelly to Thurman Thomas, C, writing his concession speech. No, stop. All right, listen up. All right, players dump Gatorade on the coach, A, to celebrate victory, B, to get back in it for hard feelings, C, because it's better than drinking it. Let's be honest. Come on.
The Super Bowl match between Dallas and the Buffalo Bills will be played this Sunday in Atlanta. Dallas is favored by 10.5 points. Friday, Jay talks to John LaRoquette about his TV series cleverly titled The John LaRoquette Show. Very funny program. Friday, Tonight Show. Save room for one more highlight after this break. You're going to meet a husband who is so cheap that I don't really have a description of how cheap he is. Next. I'll tell them what they want. Ron considers himself frugal, parsimonious, perhaps even a bit miserly, but not cheap. Oh, no. No, not cheap. He only snags those ketchup packets from McDonald's because he's trying to economize. In fact, when it comes to making excuses for his stingy behavior, he's downright generous, as Sally Jesse Raphael found out. Take a look at this highlight.
And you eat what's left on the kids' plates.
Oh, yeah, I don't believe
One
in...
time, we were eating dinner, and the kids were scraping off the plates, and my daughter happened to be scraping off the plate, and she said, Dad, you didn't eat that piece of meat that was on my plate, did you? and she had ate that piece of meat and spit it out because it was tough, and he ate it.
Oh, gee, that was an accident.
That was an accident. How could you tell? I
But
could
most
tell.
of the time, if there's food left over in the plate, instead of going in the garbage, I'll
But he has done
I'll
that
eat it.
too. He
I'll
has
eat that.
gotten things out of the garbage. If the kids are throwing away a hamburger or something and throwing it in the garbage, he will get it out of the garbage.
It was pizza. We went and had this great big pizza.
Oh, it was pizza, excuse me.
And I had one piece and went back, and the kids had about 5 pieces on their plate, and went in the living room, watched TV, and then I go back to get another piece, and it's all gone. God, where'd it all go? So I go to throw my crust away in the garbage under the sink, and there it all was. So, I mean, this ain't the dumpster out in the alley. This is just a little paper sack underneath the sink.
With all the other garbage thrown in it.
So I just pulled about the top 3 pieces off.
Anybody
and ate it.
else going,
Okay. Ooh. Later on, Ron's wife, June, put on a little fashion show at her husband's expense.
I'll tell you, my husband is so cheap that he doesn't think these pants are worn out.
On Friday's show, Sally hears from parents who are upset that their daughters are getting divorced. We've titled it, Daughter's Divorce is Ruining My Life. That'll be Friday. Thanks for joining us. That's going to do it for this Talk Soup edition. I'm Greg Kinnear. We'll be back, I guess, tomorrow. Do it again. See you then.
YNR, B&B, AMC, GH. If this means anything at all to you, and I know it does, then you'll want to stick around and watch Pure Soap packed with highlights from all of your favorite shows. It's coming up next. Could you pass the Twinkie, please?